Welcome into this latest edition of Charleston County Connects podcast. This is our first podcast of 2024, and we're rolling out the big guns today. We got Eric Davis, the head of Greenbelt. Welcome to the show.
Great to be here, Sean. Thank you.
Our pleasure. So, towards the end of the month, you're going to be part of a series of public meetings. A lot of them deal with some of the future road projects going on in Charleston County, but it's also going to be a great opportunity to promote what you do with the Greenbelt program. For folks that just need a basic overview, what is Greenbelt? Because they've been paying for it for years through the sales tax.
That's correct. So Greenbelt gets a portion of the overall transportation sales tax to protect land for simply conservation or to also provide public green spaces like parks, whether those be passive or active.
Okay, so when we talk about public access, some examples of some of the ones that people may go to and not even realize that this is a Greenbelt property.
Oh yeah, there's some pretty iconic ones. Some of the most famous, Botany Bay Heritage Preserve down on Edisto Island is the most visited DNR heritage preserve in the state. So we provided funding to expand that. Boone Hall Plantation is protected in part by Greenbelt funds, as well as the Angel Oak on Johns Island. We also have funded projects in the Francis Marion National Forest, as well as the Cape Romaine Wildlife Refuge.
Cape Romaine, what did you guys do out there, and where's that one at?
Cape Romaine is essentially around Bulls Bay,
Okay.
northeasternmost part of the county, and we've protected a couple of islands that were right on the edge of the preserve, Pappas Island and Dupree Island. Pappas was permitted for a septic tank, so there could have been a home right essentially on the doorstep of the wildlife refuge. So we're very excited to protect that one, and there's public access now. You can take your boat out and walk around.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Part of your job is you monitor all of these properties throughout the year, both the public access ones and the ones that are for conservation. For yourself, any particular ones stand out, ones that you really enjoy going out to visit, and the ones that you hope the public takes more advantage of?
Oh, there's so many. We have a lot of little gym-type parks where you can go out and just walk a nature trail. But again, public access, the Botany Bay Heritage Preserve is really tough to beat.
Yeah.
You've got the Boneyard Beach down there on Edisto Island, and I don't know how many thousands of acres that go inland where you can see marsh, you can see tidal streams, you can just walk around, picnic, fish, whatever you want to do out there. It's a great site.
You guys also do help with funding for like municipal parks, I believe, in some areas too. Any of those off the top of your head that our citizens would have visited?
So yeah, active recreation sites are something that we'll fund the land acquisition for that. One of those is Chisholm Park, which is active green space that City of Charleston owns for soccer fields right downtown. Okay. So we've got several of those in the pipeline that'll be coming, but that's the one active green space where there's actually sports fields out there already.
There was was there one in Megget too? What am I thinking of?
Oh yeah, Roxbury Park.
Roxbury Park.
Yeah, that's another great one.
Yeah.
Same type deal as Botany Bay. Of course, it's not beachfront, but passive green space is what we would call that type of park, where there's hiking trails and fishing and just general passive recreation opportunities.
So when you're at these upcoming public meetings, and there's going to be a portion of that that's dedicated to future road projects, what's your role going to be at that meeting? Is it really just to inform people what we've been doing and what we can do moving forward?
It is. So, unlike the transportation side of the sales tax, we don't have a list of projects that we're asking the public to review and comment on those. We rely on our project partners to bring projects to us, and then we help fund the land acquisition for those. So what we're going to do is just provide some key stats on the program, how much money we've utilized to date, how much matching funding that has been generated by that, which is over 100%. That's a pretty impressive stat.
That's a good number.
And then we're going to have some boards up where folks can see some of our more popular projects that they may know about, like Boone Hall, like Botany Bay, and many, many others. Learn about the different types of lands that we do protect, so it'll give them an idea if the sales tax passes on the work that we'll continue to do in Charleston County. And then we'll be accepting comments, written comments at that meeting, or they can make those later online on the website.
Okay. Just going back to what you guys do as a whole. So you have your passive parks, your conservation easements, and then your active recreation. For some reason, I think, do you guys do some work to help with like multi-use pass and that sort of thing in any areas?
That's a good point, Sean. We our model for the Greenbelt is what we call a hub and spokes model. So the hubs are these passive parks that have public access, or even just conserved lands for natural infrastructure or wildlife. The corridors, the spokes are the corridors. So a great example of that is the Mount Pleasant Way. Most recently, they've used most of their funding to purchase right-of-way to build their multi-use path that will connect various hubs in the Greenbelt system.
Okay. Where the Mount Pleasant Way, is that kind of near where that rifle range park is as well?
So Mount Pleasant Way is, I believe that's a 25-mile spine route multi-use path plan for all of Mount Pleasant area. But you're right, one of the main arteries for that plan goes down Rifle Range Road near their future Rifle Range Park.
So I think you can see that the Greenbelt program, I mean, it funds so many different things that there's so many benefits to really maintaining the character of Charleston County.
Absolutely, and there's one we left out also that a lot of people don't realize. When you go out to Sullivan's and you see these muddy beach access paths, or Folly Beach where a storm may have destroyed a beach access, they can actually use our funding to build boardwalks to provide better access and often ADA access to the beach for the public. Now, only our beach communities can do that. But you never probably have even realized that unless you've seen the sign on the way out.
Gotcha. So certainly a vast program. For yourself, any areas that you love to paddle boat from, fish from, any of that stuff, anything stick out to you?
Well, Charleston County, I absolutely love the Ashley River.
Yeah.
And we don't have, to my knowledge, I don't know that we have an access that we funded right on the Ashley River. But one that folks can get excited about that was approved a few years ago is what we call the Sea Island Small Farmers Cooperative. That's actually a major site of the Stono Rebellion. Eventually, that's going to be transferred over to Charleston County Parks, and they're going to operate that as a canoe and kayak access site in addition to a historical interpretive park. And that's located in Ravenel on what they call the Wallace River, really close to the Stono.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Anything else you got for the upcoming meetings? Anything else you want our citizens to know about?
We're just looking forward to your comments. We'll have the boards up. If you want to take a deep dive, we'll have somebody there that can go into the details if you have questions about specific projects or how the program is run. But we just hope folks come out and learn all they can about Greenbelt before they make the decision in November.
All right. Thank you very much. And we'll put the meeting information, locations, time in the episode description. Eric Davis, did we cover it all?
I think so.
All right. Let's make like a tree and leave.
Sounds good.